like to take just a few minutes for you to know our founder just a little bit better. James Bryant's over here to my left. He's not reading tonight. He's over there busy with the equipment and all, but don't be sure that he is behind every Spofest that happens, his efforts and his ideas. And so I thought that it would be nice just to take a few minutes for you to meet him. We're going to do kind of a question and answer, kind of little mini interview here, just so that you can hear James' voice, so you can know him a little bit better, and so you can hear some of his feelings about Spofest. Ready, James? I stand by.
Test. Is that
Yeah.
good enough, you think?
Great. It's great.
Okay.
Okay, James, tell the group here tonight what gave you the idea to start a project like Spofest.
Well, a good friend of mine, a colleague, a writer, and musician, Steve Dawson, has for years wanted me to do something in the way of my writing, my poetry, and so we pushed around several different ideas, and one night Travis DeMoss, who is some of you might know him, Travis DeMoss, he's a musician here in town. He was doing a gig down at the Wine and More, and he invited me to go up there to read a poem before an audience, and I did that, and they applauded, and I fell in love with it. I was like, wow, this is cool. I asked Travis, can I do this again? He goes, no, it's my show. Get off my show here. So I was like, wow, this is really cool. So I started piecing together the ideas about maybe putting together something of a poetic nature. At the time, there were only 2 other venues that gave poets and writers a chance to read in a public setting. But unfortunately, they were only once a year. And I thought to myself, if you love to read poetry or short stories, and you love to hear other people read it and write and stuff, why not do this on a more regular basis? So I got together with Steve. We were kind of hashing out some ideas. I ended up calling Debbie Nolan. And long story short, May 14, 2011, at the Wine and More, we had our very first Spofest, and the rest is history.
James, what have been your main goals for the group?
Basically to keep going, because I didn't know if we were going to be around after the first event. I figured, if we got past the first event, hey, we got something here. Basically, my goals were to get the word out, let as many people as possible try to participate in the event. One of my goals, as Debbie mentioned earlier, was at least 1 brand new reader for each event. I did that for about 3.5 years, but I fell short one event. Things like that will happen when you live in a population of 20,000. So, you kind of run out of people. So basically just trying to bring in fresh, new blood, new talent, and just get the word out there and try to have these Spofest events at as many locations throughout Sedalia and the surrounding areas.
Okay, James, good. I hope that with our new readers tonight, our average has now balanced out, and that one time we didn't have a new reader is okay now. I hope that. James,
Yeah.
just one more question. Won't put you on the spot too long tonight, but what is it that you hope for us to accomplish in the future with Spofest?
What do I like to accomplish for Spofest in the future? Basically to keep doing what we're doing here. And I will take one of your questions, Debbie, that you did not ask. But one of the reasons why I want to do a Spofest out here is I'm hoping that we can continue to tap into the readers, the writers out here, and give them an opportunity to be a part of something bigger, the spoken word. Obviously, spoken word is a lot more prevalent in larger metropolises like Kansas City, Springfield, St. Louis. So, Julie and Jocelyn, instead of you guys going out to Walmart, you can, come to a Spofest event. That's what we're hoping to, bring to Sedalia. Give you guys another reason to come to Spofest. Because even though Walmart can cool, you can only get so much out of Walmart. So there you go. I think that pretty much covers my part of the show. Back to you, Debbie.
Okay, thanks, James. It's
You're
good
welcome.
to have you a part of our program tonight. This is our inspiration. This keeps us going. This is James. We salute him. We applaud him. Every one of us love him to death. But don't tell him. His head will get all big. I want to go ahead and proceed with our program this evening. We have several more readers to hear from. Last year, my husband and I got the best Christmas card. It had, you get your typical Christmas letter, yeah, everything went great for our family this year, yeah, everything's good, our kids are wonderful, blah, blah. But we got something a little bit different in our Christmas card last year. It was kind of a story, a first-person story, and it was very poignant, very touching, and it was about a young man. And then we find out at the end of the story that the young man is the writer himself, Mr. Ken Anderson. And so he's going to be here on the stage in a moment to read for us. He's going to do poetry, however, because sitting at the Trails End Cowboy Poetry Contest last spring, he was inspired to write a cowboy poem. So he's going to bring a poem called Missouri Walt here in just a moment. Let's see, what can I tell you about Ken? This is interesting that this is the first poem he's written since high school. He is an essayist and a writer of letters to the editor, a prose writer primarily, from the Stockton, Missouri area. From high school, Ken went on to North Central Missouri College in Trenton, where he met his wife, Joanna. Today, the Andersons have been married 37 years, and Joanna is in her third year as president of SFCC. But this time, let's imagine ourselves as cowboys around a campfire and invite Ken Anderson to mosey on up here and regale us with some rhythm and rhyme suggestive of a fascinating and much romanticized period of American history. Ken, it's yours.
In 1980, many livestock perished when a late spring storm dumped 3.5 feet of snow in Casper, Wyoming. The forecast had been for 20% chance of flurries. There are now statues immortalizing that event in downtown Casper and also at Colorado State University. The following poem was read at a retirement benefit for Casper College president Walter Nolte. Dr. Nolte is a great fan of a certain Seattle-based coffee chain, and he's even less of a cowboy than I am. At first, there was a great deal of resistance to changes that Dr. Nolte initiated, but he retired one of the most beloved and respected educators in the state. There were many additions to the college during Walt's tenure, including a new student union and dining hall, a large residence hall, a well-equipped ranch for the rodeo program, and mammoth and T-Rex skeletons for the college's museum. Now, with that background, here's the legend of Missouri Walt. Wyoming ranching can be a bit rough. There's droughts and there's blizzards and all sorts of stuff. And the wind. Last week it blew away Pete with all of his gear. And Pete and his hoss was still roped to our steer. Now, snow here is so common that it causes few worries. Just beware when there's 20% chance of some flurries. Of critters, we've plenty. Of people, there's few. And there's no ugly trees obstructing our view. The boss come around in the summer of '04, said there'd be a new foreman step through the door. Now real cowboys don't come from the state of Missouri. Them's all ball knobbers and mules that are too stubborn to hurry. So we'd have to be patient and show him the ropes. We'd teach him to be like our last segundo. That was our hopes. But we run into trouble. It really weren't fun, 'cause this Walt had his own ideas. about how a ranch should be run. Some cowpokes just shrugged. They ride for the brand. But others was addlepated and griped and complained. But Walt wasn't worried. He stuck with his changes. And as time moseyed by, well, he expanded our ranges. And he added a ranch. He added some courses. He added some barns for all our horses. A mammoth named Dee and a T-Rex or two. He led us through good times and some tragedy too. The headquarters grew so fine and so grand. Our new bunkhouse and cook shacks, the best in the land. The herd has grown fat with everything ducky, and he surveys it all with a cup of Starbucky. Now that things is all good in the ranch, it's a hummin'. Old Walt's gonna leave us. There's a new foreman comin'. Well, we've learned our lesson and know what to do. We just gotta train up this new feller to be like you-know-who.